as noisy a stadium as you will find in all of sports. Arrowhead Stadium here in Kansas City. Welcome everyone as the 1-1 Jets meet the 1-1 Kansas City Chiefs. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl set to bring this one to you, which is available in Spanish here at SAP. That's Todd Bowles, the head coach of the New York Jets in his second season. His counterpart on the near side of the field is the veteran head coach Andy Reid. The Chiefs won the toss and they will defer, which means the Jets will get their hands on the football first. Jets fans wondered all week long about the availability of wide receiver Brandon Marshall. He is playing today and will be in the starting lineup as one of the weapons at the disposal, Trent, of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Well, and Ryan Fitzpatrick told us yesterday, he said, of the one guy on offense that I don't need a lot of reps with, that's Brandon Marshall. So he's excited to have him in the lineup today.
Jalen Marshall awaits the kick. It comes down at the 5. Running room on the near side of the field and up the sideline. And out of bounds at about the 40-yard line. Good return by Jalen Marshall, the rookie free agent out of Ohio State. And there's 12th-year veteran Ryan Fitzpatrick at the helm of a Jets offense, Trent, that rolled up almost 500 total yards at Buffalo in week 2.
Well, and that was his second best day passing as a Jets quarterback was last week against Buffalo. And it's interesting, Jalen Marshall with the return. Ryan Fitzpatrick was very complimentary of him last night, saying that he's a big weapon on the offense as well.
34-yard return sets the Jets up at their own 39-yard line. Matt Forte in the backfield with Fitzpatrick, and he'll get the handoff. And maybe a yard, maybe a little more than a yard, just nudging over the 40-yard line, anchoring the offensive line. 7-time Pro Bowl center Nick Mangold, now in his 11th year. And as we mentioned, wide receiver Brandon Marshall, questionable all week long. To most people, but not to you, Trent. You figured he'd play.
Yeah, you could just tell by Brandon's comments all week. You could tell from a veteran guy if you think he's going to play or not. He just carried himself like that, and I think when we talked with the coaches last night, you could kind of get an indication they felt good about his chances as well.
Jets go 5 wide receivers on 2nd and 9. Fitzpatrick over the middle to Marshall for a first down across midfield and just into Chiefs territory. Big bodies up front on that Kansas City Chiefs defense. The biggest, Dontari Poe at 6'3", 346 pounds out of Memphis. The veteran of the Kansas City defense, Derek Johnson, now in his 12th season out of Texas. And at quarterback, Marcus Peters, defensive rookie of the year last year with 8 interceptions, already has 2 this year. Forte, and he's going to lose yardage here. Stacked up by Frank Zombo and Derek Johnson. Pushed back to the Jets' 49-yard line.
Well, we had a chance to talk to Matt Forte. I said, did you think after 2 games you would already have 52 carries on the season? Was that part of the selling point when you decided to come and join the Jets as a free agent? He said, no, that wasn't quite the plan, but I'm excited about the opportunity and looking forward to the weapons that are on the Jets offense and being a part of that.
Forte comes off a 3 rushing touchdown performance at Buffalo and 100 yards on the ground. 2nd and 12. Fitzpatrick near sideline. Eric Decker is closest. That's incomplete. Covered by Philip Gaines. 3rd-year cornerback out of Rice. There's Forte. He's been a terrific addition for this Jets offense.
Well, and he said that was one of the things he was looking at in free agency, not only what they did on the offensive side of the ball. He liked what Chan Gailey does from an offensive coordinator or play calling standpoint, but when he looked at all the weapons that the Jets have, he said, I can fit in nicely into this, and everybody's not going to be focused on me.
3rd and 12, and it's getting loud early here in Kansas City. Fitzpatrick over the middle. This is Marshall. Marshall looking for running room. Far sideline. He's going to come up short of a first down at about the 42.5-yard line. Run out of bounds by the veteran safety, Eric Berry.
And Fitzpatrick told us when he can get one-on-one underneath, you see Berry dropping down from the safety position is the one that ultimately brings him down. And the way that he was tackled, was very similar to the way he got hurt in Buffalo last Thursday night. So you could see that time Brandon was able to get his legs or get that foot out of the ground so it didn't twist underneath him.
Tyreek Hill is deep for the punt. The 5th round draft choice out of West Alabama. High floater by Lachlan Edwards. And picked up at about the 10 and run out of bounds by Hill. So it'll be the Chiefs' turn. And there is quarterback Alex Smith, thrown for 2 touchdowns, run for another. And as we said, Andy Reid's kind of guy. He runs exactly the kind of offense that Andy Reid likes, and he runs it very well.
He does run it very well, and he's a high percentage completion guy. He's not a big risk taker in terms of he's going to have a lot of turnovers. He's very good at protecting the football. He's looking forward to this attack from the Jets defense because the first 2 weeks they've had a lot of drop 8 into coverage, but the Jets don't do that on the defensive side.
Alex with a quick throw on first down, and that is across the 20. Complete to Ross Travis, the first-year tight end. Chiefs rookie left tackle Parker Anger out with concussion symptoms this week. Zach Fulton takes his spot on the left side. And third-year running back Spencer Ware leads the Chiefs in rushing, leads the Chiefs in receiving yards, and leads the league in total yards from scrimmage.
He's been a valuable weapon for Alex Smith coming out of the backfield. They do like to mix things up with Charkandrick West in the backfield as well, but Spencer Ware has been carrying the load so far this season.
High snap handled by Smith, gives to Ware, and Ware nowhere to go. Leonard Williams makes the stop. Leonard Williams, part of that Jets defense, 6 sacks total from the guys up front, and Leonard Williams leads the way with 2.5. We'll see what the Jets have in rookie linebacker Jordan Jenkins, who starts today after missing the first 2 games of the season with a calf injury. And so much talk about 10-year veteran cornerback Darrelle Revis. What did Andy Reid say? He could lose a lot and still be better than most cornerbacks in the league.
Yeah, and Alex Smith followed that up with the same thoughts. He said, you know what, I'm not going to find out if he's lost the step or not. You have to respect him.
Smith pulls it down, now throws complete. Coming across the middle is Travis Kelce, and Kelce out of bounds and enough for a first down across the 30 to the 31-yard line. David Harris ran him out.
As good of a career as David Harris has had for the New York Jets, this is a matchup that the Chiefs will take every time. Travis Kelce made his first Pro Bowl a year ago, but that matchup one-on-one with David Harris will be something that Alex Smith looks for all day.
Kelce, big guy, 6'5", 260, has surpassed the 800-yard receiving mark each of the last 2 years, and 11 catches for 108 yards his first 2 outings this year. Tyreek Hill in the backfield alongside Alex Smith. Pass to this side, and that's incomplete. That one never had a chance. Intended for Jeremy Maclin.
Well, that's the one thing talking to Jeremy Maclin. He wasn't sure. He said in previous years there have been times where Darrelle Revis has covered him one-on-one no matter where on the field he went. He didn't know if that was going to be the case today. That time they were matched up, and Alex Smith just threw that ball too wide.
There is Revis, number 24, 2nd and 10. Rolling left, throwing left, and that is complete, and out of bounds is Maclin, about a yard short of a first down.
Well, that just answered the question of whether or not Revis was going to match him one-on-one everywhere on the field that he went, because Marcus Williams is on Jeremy Maclin that time, and a big cushion and accurate throw, setting up a 3rd and short.
Marcus Williams with the only 2 interceptions the Jet defense has registered so far in this young season. 3rd and 1. The pitch for Ware, then first down and then some. Midfield, inside the 45-yard line and brought down from behind by Sheldon Richardson. 17 yards and a Kansas City first down.
The key is Sherman. They think that this is the way that the ball is going to go, but he takes a step and comes back the other way. It catches the defense thinking there's a tendency that the Chiefs have. That's to follow Anthony Sherman. This time you fake it to the right, you pitch it out to the left, not being able to stay home on the backside, and Ware picks up the first down.
So the Chiefs now to the Jets 44. Charkandrick West in the backfield. This is West. And out of bounds at about the 42. Charkandrick West, Spencer Ware, and this is a team that's still anticipating the return of Jamal Charles sometime in the near future.
Well, and that's been the big question mark, is how quickly do you get Jamal Charles back? And I think that the Chiefs are going to be very conservative with this. They feel comfortable with the combination of Charkandrick West and Spencer Ware, and I think they're going to give Jamal Charles the amount of time, the proper time that he needs to get back at 100%.
Knockout.
Movement up front, contact, and penalty markers fly. Bill Vinovich is our referee today.
Neutral zone infraction. Defense number 99. 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
That's Steve McClendon, the nose tackle. There's Jamal Charles.
Well, and the thing about Jamal's, he came back and started getting more work, or any work at all, really, towards the end of training camp. And as the weeks have progressed during the season, they're giving him more and more reps as he gets more comfortable on that surgically repaired knee.
Torn ACL back in week 5 of last season.
3 from the New York 37-yard line.
So it's a 2nd and 3. With 8:20 to play here in the first. Ware behind Alex Smith. Fake it to Ware, throwing out of the tight end position is Ross Travis, and Travis has a first down.
And Greg, I think we need to acknowledge the fact that Alex Smith told us everything accurately last night in the meetings, because he said they need to mix it up offensively, and that's what they've done on this first drive.
First and 10 Chiefs at the New York 31-yard line.
Those of you just joining us here in Kansas City, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl. Scoreless first quarter, but the Kansas City Chiefs on the march now to the Jet 31-yard line, and the handoff is to Spencer Ware, and Ware pushes his way to about the 27.
Tackled by Steve McClendon.
And right now, the Kansas City Chiefs appear to have found themselves a little bit of a rhythm and have the Jets off balance on defense.
Well, and that's what Alex said was when we talked to him in the meeting, Alex Smith saying that they needed to get into a rhythm offensively. And when this offense works the best is when they can mix it up. We've seen it already with bootlegs, misdirections in the run game. We've seen short passes. They have yet to take a shot up the field, but everything else has been working well for the Chiefs so far.
This is Ware, left side. Penalty marker flies behind the play. And this is going to go against Kansas City.
Holding. Offense number 61. 10-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
That's the center, Mitch Morse.
You see the center right here in the middle of your screen. He's going to get his hands up in the shoulder pads too much, and the officials are in position to where they can see that tug of the shoulder pads and the jersey together.
You know, sometimes you can get away with that, but not when the guy that you're holding is the guy who could have made the tackle.
Right into the gap that you're running. There tends to be a lot of focus and a lot of eyeballs in that direction.
10th play of this drive, 2nd and 16. Ware once again picks his way through traffic to about the 30.
Well, Greg, that's the thing that the Chiefs have been excited about, just his patience as a runner.
Gain of 7 yards on the play. 3rd down and 9 from the New York 30-yard line.
With 6.5 minutes to play here in the first quarter, welcome to those of you joining us here at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl, and the rest of our CBS Sports crew. No score, but Kansas City at the Jet 30-yard line. And a 3rd and 9. Alex Smith on the move and going to go down back at the 39. 8th time this season Alex Smith has been sacked. Lorenzo Malden and Darren Lee
Well, and sometimes, and you can look about that, this is universal around the league. When you have a mobile quarterback, someone that can buy time with their feet, extend plays, sometimes you can get caught up in thinking you can always extend plays and buy time. And this one, considering the field position they were in, they had an opportunity to kick a field goal. Taking a sack there was crucial because it knocked them into a punting situation.
Dustin Colquitt in his 12th season out of Tennessee. And Jalen Marshall standing inside his own 10. Colquitt tries to hang it up, and it's going to bounce. And they are going to down it at about the half-yard line. Tyreek Hill. The career leader in Kansas City with punts inside the 20. Well, the Jets are going to need a little Fitzmagic here. They're backed up about as far as you can go. At the 1-yard line. Matt Forte behind Fitzpatrick. Forte pulls his way out to about the 5. Let's go back to that Dustin Colquitt punt and watch what happened right along the goal line.
Well, and there was some question on whether or not the ball was hit by Robinson. You can see here, Hill is clean, but right there, it may have potentially touched Robinson's right hand when his left foot was touching the goal line. So the Jets did not throw the challenge flag, and I don't know if we would have had enough to overturn it with the different angles we looked at, but there was some question of whether or not that ball got touched.
Second and 7. And here comes the crowd. Forte trying to break it to the outside and busts it out close to the 10-yard line.
Well, that's the thing that Forte's been able to do these first 2 games. He's been getting the tough yards, and when you're pinned down inside your own 5-yard, for this case, it was down inside your own 1-yard line, you're trying to get some separation from that goal line, and just 2 run plays in a row, they're able to set up 3rd and short.
It's going to be 3rd and 2. And Bilal Powell is now in the backfield. Fitzpatrick going to throw for it. Now he's going to run for it. And he dives across the 10, lost the football, covered it at the 20. And no one is marking him down back there, so forward progress is going to be out to about the 20-yard line.
Well, and the thing is when you go head first as a quarterback, you're not giving yourself up like sliding feet first. So if he goes head first and nobody touches him and that ball pops out, it is still a live ball. We'll get a chance on the replay here. It looks like his legs were touched there. I don't know if the ball was coming out prior to that, but I think it would have been a first down either way. It's just you get the added yardage.
Forte is back. Forte with the handoff. And cut down as he got to the line of scrimmage at about the 22 by Derek Johnson.
He was tackled by Derek Johnson.
I want to remind you, get the CBS Sports app for inside access to breaking news and expert analysis of your favorite team. It has everything you need. Download the CBS Sports app today. Overcast day here in Kansas City. Rained all night, much to Jamie Erdahl's chagrin, and then much to her delight, it slacked off this morning. 2nd and 8. Fitzpatrick over the middle, incomplete, intended for Brandon Marshall. Covered closely by Steven Nelson.
Well, that's a big size advantage for Brandon Marshall. Steven Nelson only listed at 5'11", and that time Fitzpatrick not accurate with the throw. You see Nelson showing some emotion, pretty pumped up about that.
Marshall to the near side, 3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick needs the 31 for a first down. Throwing, intercepted at the 35-yard line by Marcus Peters. His 3rd of the year.
Marcus Peters comes into this game tied for the NFL lead with interceptions with 2. Here you're going to see right up top. And Ryan Fitzpatrick talked to us about Marcus Peters and how he likes to be aggressive and how he likes to jump things. And that time with the pocket collapsing around Ryan Fitzpatrick, he wasn't able to step into it the way he wanted. And Marcus Peters just had his eyes on Fitzpatrick the entire time, stepped in front and made the interception.
Ryan Fitzpatrick told us Marcus Peters is tough and he gets beat a lot, but he makes a lot of plays too.
Well, and that's the risk reward for being that type of cornerback, and it's worked out well for him. Yeah, he can give up some big plays. That's been shown last year and this year, but when you look at the number of interceptions he's had, as we look at it right there, regular season counting last year, 11 interceptions, first in the National Football League, and passes defended first in the National Football League.
8 interceptions last season en route to the NFL Defensive Player of the Year award. And 2 interceptions last week in the loss to Houston. The ball has been spotted at the 35-yard line. Great field position for Alex Smith and the Chiefs. Give it to Tyreek Hill. Hill can't turn the corner, and he's out of bounds and losing yardage. Marcus Peters just made his presence felt last week at Houston. 19-12, Houston came out on top. Peters with the goal line interception there and then picking one off on the sideline there. He's a special player.
Well, Greg, you talk about not only he picked the one off on the goal line going in the end zone, that second interception was on the 20, so you're talking 2 red zone turnovers that he was able to get and keep Houston out of the end zone.
On 2nd and 13, on the option, the pitch is to Ware. Ware, 35, 30, spinning to the 25-yard line. That looks like it'll be enough for a first down. Calvin Pryor with the tackle.
Well, it's a nicely executed option here, and you're going to see the shot that Alex Smith takes, and afterwards he's asking for a penalty. But Spencer Ware, once he gets the ball out in the open field, his patience and vision, and he's able to, you saw that late spin to pick up the extra yards. But just to go back on what I was saying about Alex Smith, he's asking for the officials. Well, you're a runner at that point in time. You don't have all the normal protections that you would as a quarterback standing in the pocket. So he's not going to take, they're not going to give him that advantage from a penalty.
Ware, 5 carries for 40 yards already, and Smith to throw. That's Hill out of the backfield, spinning away from the defense. Forward progress will be marked at about the 12, and Darrell Revis made the tackle. Tyreek Hill is the 5th-round draft pick, 5'10", 185.
Well, you can understand why Andy Reid is so excited about Tyreek Hill. It started off mainly as a returner in the kickoff returns and punt returns, and you can see there, you get the ball in open space, and it's almost like being a returner. That quick spin move to pick up extra yards, and they found ways. Last week they got him more involved in the offense, and now today he had a run on a reverse and with the catch there.
Under half a minute to play here in the first quarter. Straight drop. Smith throwing. Crossing pattern. Kelsey looking for the corner. Diving. Did he get there? Touchdown, Kansas City.
Travis Kelsey, he's just going to run a little delay here and go underneath, but all these guys are just running and clear out. What that's going to do is cause the zone to drop. The Jets get caught into the fact that Alex Smith's vision is taking him to the right. Kelsey's able to sneak underneath, and once you hit him in stride, he's diving for that pylon.
That's the first touchdown in the first half that Kansas City has scored this year.
They've struggled with starting fast in their first 2 games, but not today.
Cairo Santos for the extra point. Needs 4 out of 4 with the extra points this young season. 13 seconds to play in the first quarter. Kansas City strikes first. The Chiefs leading the Jets 7-0. The NFL on CBS.
NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. DirecTV. If you call yourself a sports fan, you gotta get DirecTV. And by the all-new Honda Ridgeline for truck tough things and everyday things.
7-0 Chiefs over the Jets. Trent Green is a former Kansas City Chief. Let me ask you, is the tailgating any good around the stadium?
Well, you guys had some barbecue while you were here, and that's what they're known for. So yeah, the tailgating does get pretty good around here. But the Jets have known, you get into that parking lot, they're crazy and full as well. So two historic teams, and so far a good matchup.
I like the way you're playing that off like you've heard that it is, and you don't know for sure. So the Jets have a little work to do, down by a touchdown. And this is Jalen Marshall. Lost the ball in the end zone. We'll cover it for the touchback. And it'll come out to the 25. Ryan Fitzpatrick threw a pick last time out. He'll try to do better when we come back. Hey, just a reminder for you, your weekend starts on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Thursday night football on the NFL Network this week. Dolphins with their last 3 wins against Cincinnati. The Dolphins have started the season 0-3. Matt Forte in the backfield. Fitzpatrick to throw this side. That's complete to Quincy Enunia. His first catch of the day across the 30 out to about the 31-yard line. And that'll bring us to the end of the first quarter. First quarter belongs to the Kansas City Chiefs. Off the interception, the touchdown pass to Travis Kelce. We're back to Arrowhead in just a moment.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by New York Life. With the right guidance, everyone can be good at life. And by Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
Back in Arrowhead Stadium for the start of the second quarter. Chiefs with a 7-0 lead. Jets with the ball. And a 2nd and 4. Forte with the first down and then some. Across the 40, out to the 42-yard line. We check in for the first time today with Jamie Erdahl. Jamie.
Thanks, Greg. I got a big smile and an I'm good from Brandon Marshall early this morning after his first workout, but in reality, that decision was not up to him when it came to his knee injury. Todd Bowles knows that Brandon Marshall is the kind of guy that would literally limp and play on the field. Ryan Fitzpatrick told us the same thing. Bowles said he was the one to make the final decision, and so far, no extra attention has been paid to him on the sideline.
All right, Jamie, thank you. Fitzpatrick to throw. Running out of time on the move, throws over the middle, incomplete. Yeah, it was really kind of funny when I asked Todd Bowles, will Brandon make that decision? And Coach Bowles went, oh, no.
No, and he didn't even snicker or nothing. He just looked at us, nope, that's my decision. We said, so you're going to be the one to go out on the field and make that decision? He says, yes. I'm going out to watch the workout, and I will be the one making that decision. He said, I've known Brandon long enough. I don't necessarily think he's going to tell me the truth whether he can go or not, because he's going to want to play no matter what.
Forte. Not much. Tripped up at the line of scrimmage. Eric Johnson with the stop.
Well, that's an important part for the Chiefs today, is going to be stopping the running game. Coming into this game, they're 30th in the National Football League. A year ago, they were one of the better teams in the National Football League stopping the run, and so far this season that hasn't been the case. So making the Jets one-dimensional can work into the favor for the Chiefs defense.
Play clock running down on Fitzpatrick. Got the snap away. He's going to run it straight ahead, and he can't break away, and we get a penalty marker. And it looks like it'll be delay of game.
Prior to the snap, delay of game. Offense number 14. 5-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
Well, and that penalty ended up working in the Jets' favor because I don't think a quarterback draw to Fitzpatrick on 3rd and long was going to be the play.
I'm surprised the Chiefs didn't turn that penalty down.
Well, delay a game.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yep, delay a game. It's a dead ball penalty. No choice on that one.
I was just testing you. 3rd and 12. Underneath is Powell out of the backfield, and Powell across the 45, lost the ball, covered by the Chiefs. Let's see if he's ruled down. He is not ruled down. Kansas City with the turnover again.
Well, you've got a bunch of officials staring at each other. Nobody's making a call one way or another. You got one official marking the ball, one official saying the fumble.
Ruling on the field, the fumble recovered by Kansas City. Timeout.
Eric Murray, the rookie out of Minnesota, covered the football. And another Jets turnover gives Kansas City great field position. This ruled fumble is now under review as we take another look at Bilal Powell as he goes down.
Well, and I think it looks like Powell's elbow is down before the ball comes out, and then it just depends on if the officials think it's enough evidence to overturn it. We'll be able to tell by how they answer it, whether it stands or it's confirmed, or if it's completely reversed. I think he's down. I think he was down. I thought the elbow was down. I thought maybe even his backside was down before the ball came out. Here's another look at it. You see the ball is still in there, but his right elbow comes down, and then as his backside's hitting the ground, it looks like that's when it comes out.
Well, here comes Bill Vinovich.
After reviewing the play, the ruling on the field stands. 1st down.
First and 10, Kansas City from the Chiefs' 47-yard line.
Well, it must not have been enough to overturn it, Greg. It must not have been. Maybe the angles weren't confirming when exactly the ball was coming loose. We could see the elbow go down. We could see his backside hit the ground, but we couldn't see the other side of it when the ball actually started moving. So that must have been what determined that they kept it as a fumble.
Meanwhile, the New York Jets committed 2 turnovers in their first 2 games of the season. It's their second today. Kansas City from their own 47. Quick pass, complete, across midfield into the 46 is the tight end Demetrius Harris.
Smith pass complete to Demetrius Harris.
And still, nothing downfield, at least not yet for Alex Smith and the Chiefs.
Well, and that's the 3rd tight end now to be involved in the passing game. We've already seen Travis Kelce and Ross Travis with 2 catches apiece, and now Demetrius Harris. And that's a package that the Chiefs like. They think they have some big athletic tight ends, all of them former basketball players. Kelce not as much as the other 2, but it's an athletic group.
This is Ware. And Ware shoved inside the 45-yard line.
Ware, the ball carrier.
Let's get an NFL Today update from New York.
Carson Wentz has yet to throw a pick.
Yeah, that's because he's throwing strikes. Look at this right here. The Jordan Matthews for 12 yards. He's 11 of 14, 133 yards in his young career. Philadelphia up 10-0 over Pittsburgh.
Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, and Jamie Erdahl.
Thank you, guys. 3rd and short. This is Ware. And Ware, forward progress is going to give him a first down at the 42. So this has been a pretty decent rushing game for the Kansas City Chiefs. You can imagine how the playbook will open up a lot more once Jamal Charles comes back.
Well, and Jamal Charles can do so many different things. The combination of Ware and Charkandrick West, although we haven't seen a lot of West today, Ware carrying the load already, 7 carries for 45 yards. It's Jamal Charles just presents a different set of problems because of his skill set.
Quick pass to the near side. This is Tyreek Hill. Hill out of bounds.
Tyreek Hill.
And out out of bounds short of the 30-yard line. You see the last 2 years with and without Jamal Charles, and he has meant in his career an awful lot to this Kansas City team.
Well, he has, and what you can see by those numbers, whether or not you're talking about the record or yards per game, teams get dialed in on Jamal, and sometimes you can do too much where you're trying to get him the ball and find ways to get the ball, whereas now with this injury, it's forced the Chiefs to spread the ball around a lot more.
Smith, incomplete, intended for Kelsey, who wants a flag and isn't getting one. Rontez Miles, the safety, with the cover.
Play was broken up by Rontez Miles.
That time putting pressure on Alex Smith, not allowing that ball to be accurate, but Greg, we just did get word from Dean Blandino about that fumble and why it wasn't overturned. He says there wasn't a clear shot, very similar to what we talked about. There wasn't a clear shot of when exactly the ball did come loose. So it's good that we got confirmation on that.
Therefore, not enough to overturn it. Yep. 2nd and 10. West. Going a little east-west on that play.
Yeah, and that's what the Jets have to do defensively. So far, the Chiefs have been able to get a lot of downhill runs, whether it be counters or sweeps or whatever it is. They tend to be going inside the tight end box. That time trying to stretch it to the outside. The Jets were able to effectively push him out of bounds or angle him out of bounds.
So now it's 3rd and 10. Alex Smith pulls it down, now throws over the middle and has his man close to the 20-yard line. Chris Conley with his first catch of the day. And that's a first down.
Chris Conley. 11-yard completion good for a Kansas City Chiefs.
Conley is matched up on the in the left slot, and he's matched up with Revis. You're going to see right here, he gets physical and goes upfield, and he's trying to get across his face. Conley's a big physical guy. You can see the collision off the line of scrimmage. He's just able to work to the middle of the field, and Alex Smith had time to get it to him.
On first down, the pass to Hill. Hill inside the 20 and spun down at the 18-yard line by Buster Screen, the other Jets cornerback, in his 6th year out of Tennessee, Chattanooga.
Gain of 2 yards on the play. 2nd down and 8 from the 18-yard line.
And Greg, this is something the Chiefs offensively, they've been able to have effectiveness the first quarter and so far here in the second is just some of the underneath stuff. You and I have talked about it, getting that big play up the field. They haven't really needed it. They've been able to convert the 3rd downs.
On 2nd and 8, Alex Smith on the move, throws sideline. It is in and out of the hands of Demetrius Harris, and it'll be 3rd and 8.
First pass intended for Demetrius Harris.
When I talked earlier about them utilizing 3 different tight ends, that time they had 4 tight ends in the game, James O'Shaughnessy being the 4th tight end. They like to think of that group as an athletic matchup, that they can get a big guy. 2 of their tight ends are 6'7". Kelsey 6'5". You've got some size advantages that you can really, especially down in the red zone. So Jets were very good about dropping that coverage deep, leaving the underneath, and Chiefs weren't able to take advantage of the underneath throw.
Kansas City 4 out of 5 on 3rd downs, looking at a 3rd and 8 here. Smith under pressure, threw it, got away with it, and complete inside the 10. Kelsey inside the 5. It'll be 1st and goal.
It's almost like the play on the other side of the field in the first quarter where they cleared everybody out. Kelsey's going to come underneath. You let the guys are getting upfield. It's just a drag underneath. And even though it's a different formation, a different play, it's the same concept. And that's what coaches talk to all the time about. Come up with concepts that you like, use different people, different formations, different looks, so that defenses can't dial in on it. That time the Chiefs taking advantage again.
3 tight ends on the field now, and they fake it, and the give is to Kelsey. Kelsey May have even lost a yard on the play as the Jets converged on the tight end.
He was tackled by Muhammad Wilkerson.
You can see they're trying to cause some misdirection and get everybody to flow to the left with the play fake over that direction. Muhammad Wilkerson was all over it, as well as Jordan Jenkins, not biting on the fake to the left, and Kelsey had nowhere to go.
Jordan Jenkins seeing his first action of the season, a third-round draft pick out of Georgia. Calf injury sidelined him first 2 weeks. Option again. Ware. And Ware going to lose yardage courtesy of Marcus Williams.
Spencer Ware, the ball carrier.
Thinking Darren Lee, excuse me, not Marcus Williams.
Third down and goal.
Great job by the Jets defensively. If you think about what Muhammad Wilkerson did there, taking away Alex Smith, and then you mentioned it, Darren Lee, the speed that he showed there. Chiefs have lost yardage on their first 2 plays at down in the goal.
Darren Lee is the Jets' first-round draft pick from Ohio State. On third and goal, Alex Smith rolling, looking, throws, incomplete on the sideline. Intended for Chris Conley, covered by screen, and on comes the field goal unit. That's a pretty good defensive stand by the Jets.
That's a great defensive stand by the Jets. When you consider first and goal down at the 3-yard line after the catch by Kelsey got him down in there, and the Chiefs tried a little trickery on first down. They tried the misdirection and the screen back to Kelsey and catch the Jets off guard. That lost yardage. Then you go to the option on second down. That lost yards. So it really puts you in a tough predicament there on third and goal, but third and long as well, and not able to get in the end zone.
Santos from 27 yards. And it is good.
The kick is good.
Kansas City with a shot at a 2-touchdown lead settles for the field goal. 6:11 to play in the first half. The 44-yard drive ends in the Santos field goal from 27 yards out. 6:11 to play in the first half, and the Kansas City Chiefs leading it by a score of 10-0. Jalen Marshall from the 4. Right up the middle. Lost the football. Picked off by the Chiefs. This is Demetrius Harris for the touchdown.
Greg, we were just talking about the turnovers have plagued the Chiefs in the first 2 games and how it's worked in their favor so far today. And here on the kick return, you're going to see Jalen Marshall, the ball popping straight up into the air, into the arms of Demetrius Harris.
Never touched the ground, looked almost like a lateral.
If it hits you in stride like that, you're looking around like, did this really just happen, right? Todd Bowles can't believe it really just happened either.
Santos with the point after. And it is good. 6:02 to play. Just like that, the Chiefs extend to a 17-0 lead. Points off turnovers. I think it's been big. Marcus Peters with the interception that turned into the Travis Kelce touchdown catch. And then the fumble by Bilal Powell. Santos with the field goal to make it 10-0. And then on the kickoff, Jalen Marshall and Demetrius Harris right there to pick it off and return it for the touchdown in a 17-0 lead. And just a few moments ago, Brandon Marshall showed what a leader he is for the Jets on the sideline.
Yeah, he wasn't real happy about it and tried to bring the team up and get them all together. There's not going to be a lot of panic. This is a pretty veteran team, especially on the offensive side of the ball.
Jalen Marshall at the goal line. Fumbled his last trip out. Shakes a tackler, trying to break free, brought down, and penalty markers fly as he goes down at about the 28-yard line.
during the return. Personal foul. Face mask. Kicking team number 54. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down. Timeout.
So Desmond Moses grabbing the face mask right there, and that'll cost them big time. The Jets will have some decent field position.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by AutoTrader. Find your perfect new, used, or certified car on AutoTrader. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing. And by Align Probiotic. Live 24/7 with Align.
Little look at Union Station in downtown Kansas City. Matt Forte in the backfield. Ryan Fitzpatrick over the middle. And that is incomplete. Intended for Quincy Enunwa. What you were talking about earlier, Trent.
Well, it was after that touchdown return on the fumbled kickoff return, and Brandon Marshall, you can see him trying to bring everybody up, get everybody fired up. Definitely one of the leaders of the team.
And shortly after that, walked over to Jalen Marshall, the rookie who fumbled the football and gave him a little pat on the back. This is Forte. And Forte bulls his way to the 48. Jay Howard with the stop.
Well, and I mentioned, Greg, this is a pretty veteran team, especially on the offensive side of the ball. This is a situation where you don't panic, but you've got to get this first down. You've got to get some momentum going here to end the first half, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is the one to get that done. He hasn't been as accurate as he was against Buffalo. He was very effective throwing the ball up the field versus Buffalo when you consider his completion percentage down the field, so he needs to get dialed in on his accuracy here if the Jets want to make a comeback.
Big third down here for Fitzpatrick and the Jets. 3rd and 6. Has time. Crossing pattern is complete to Bilal Powell, and he has a first down at the Kansas City 45.
Well, that's the first down they needed. You're going to see the matchup here with Powell one-on-one with Derek Johnson, just working across the field. Very similar to the 2 completions that the Chiefs had to Travis Kelce. You clear out, you run a guy underneath, you have man-to-man, you find the matchup you like.
I'm surprised that play is the order of the day so far.
It is, especially when you get some man-to-man coverage underneath. It's about matchups. This is a matchup-driven league, and that's the one they went with.
Forte, running room on the left side. And out of bounds just shy of the 35. A reminder for you, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. James Brown and the guys back in New York with the latest NFL scores and highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. It's all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. 7-yard pickup for Forte makes it a 2nd and 3, and Marshall getting a little breather on the sideline. Under 4 minutes to play in a first half where the Jets could really use a touchdown before the break. Fitzpatrick going the other way, throws it. It is inside the 15-yard line to Robbie Anderson.
Well, that's all recognition by Ryan Fitzpatrick. He sees that it's all man-to-man. You got a safety here. It's Eric Berry in the middle of the field. Ryan Fitzpatrick comes out and he looks to his right. You can see Berry freeze at the top and turn his hips to the right. So he wanted the defender, in this case Eric Berry, to go that way because he knew he was going to take a shot up that left sideline.
First NFL reception for Robbie Anderson, the rookie free agent out of Temple. Quick pass, that's Marshall, lost it. Incomplete.
As great of a player as Brandon Marshall's been throughout his entire career, 8 of his 10 seasons, over 1,000 yards receiving, sometimes he can get the drops. This is a catch that he should make, and they're lucky it's not intercepted when you bobble it up in the air in traffic like that. But generally, when something like that happens, Greg, he comes back and makes a great play after that happens.
It's not like Ryan Fitzpatrick's going to ignore it the rest of the day.
Right.
Forte puts his head down and bulls his way to the 10.
Forte, the ball carrier.
And I know that as a quarterback, when something like that would happen, you generally try and go back to him pretty quick to let him know, hey, I still have confidence in you, I still believe in you. And, you know, based on the comments we had from Ryan Fitztragic yesterday, there's no faith being lost in that connection.
3rd and 8. Fitzpatrick needs the 2-yard line for a first down, 10 yards for a touchdown.
Right here at the top of the screen, Brandon Marshall one-on-one with Phillip Gaines.
Fitzpatrick throwing, end zone, intended for Marshall, incomplete. Eric Berry was there.
Well, and that's what the Chiefs tried doing. They had Berry down at linebacker depth. But as soon as the ball was snapped, he went over and they did a bracket coverage. They had Gaines on the outside. You see Berry on the inside. You can see Brandon Marshall looking for the contact penalty in the end zone. Good defensive scheme. They set it up so it looks like Marshall's one-on-one, but with Berry on the inside, they just run a bracket outside-inside coverage. Nowhere for him to go with the football.
Nick Folk will look to put the Jets on the board from 28 yards out, and it is good. 2:06 to play in the first half. First points of the day on the board for the Jets. They trail 17-3. Back in Kansas City, 2:06 to play in the first half. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, thanks. Back in 2012, Andy Reid, then head coach in Philadelphia, was in need of an interim defensive coordinator, and in his search, he conducted one of his best interviews of his career with the person he hired, Todd Bowles, now head coach of the New York Jets. Andy Reid said at the time Bowles was smart, he had a good way about him, he had a knowledgeable and a great feel for the game, and really the respect is mutual between these two. Bowles said about Reid that he taught him more about mental calmness than any other coach, and you guys could tell in our meetings about both of these coaches, their demeanor, quiet but confidence, and they really demand respect of their players.
You're exactly right, Jamie. I think it kind of took us a little bit by surprise when we asked Coach Bowles, you know, what did Andy Reid mean to him? He said he taught me how to be a head coach.
Yeah, it was just a tremendous amount of respect these two men have for each other, and Todd Bowles talked about just Andy Reid being able to weather the storm in Philadelphia and how much he learned from that.
Tyreek Hill tripped up at about the 15-yard line. 2 minutes to play at Arrowhead. 2 minutes to play in a first half which has seen the Kansas City defense shut down a New York Jets offense that came in here on a roll. First down from the 16-yard line. Quick pass outside, complete. Travis Kelce. And boy, the tight ends have really rolled it up so far today for the Chiefs.
They've been very effective, and it's all of them. It's not just Travis Kelce. Demetrius Harris getting involved. Ross Travis. A couple of 6'7" tight end, former basketball players getting involved. Here's Kelce diving for the end zone. And, of course, that first play coming out here after the 2-minute warning, another one to Kelce.
Alex Smith throwing outside, and this is Charkandrick West with the catch. And the word from downstairs, Trent, is that if you had used your tight ends more, you'd still be playing.
Well, I think one of those tight ends will be going in the Hall of Fame here shortly, so he can't complain about the number of touches he had, number of catches he had.
After that hit on the far side, Darrell Revis has gone straight to the sideline. And Justin Burris has replaced him.
You can see how Alex Smith is spreading the ball around. He's 15 of 19, but you see the number of targets to the tight ends and 8 receptions already with the 1 touchdown.
So Revis to the bench, Burris replacing him, the rookie on that side, and the give is to West. Clock continues to wind down as we remind you once again the Verizon Halftime Report with JB and the guys back in New York. Scores, highlights, and a preview of Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report.
Well, Greg, I'm going to be honest with you here. I'm surprised at the tempo that the Chiefs are taking, especially once they realized that Revis went out of the game with an injury. They came back after the Revis injury and they handed the ball off, and now they're using up all the clock and just winding it on down. They deferred the ball, so they have the ball coming out in the second half. So this is that situation where you can double dip. You can go down, get points going in, and try and get points coming out. So a very conservative approach here.
So the Chiefs use the first of their 3 timeouts remaining. And we'll take a break. 45 seconds left in the first half. That's all Chiefs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Bud Light, beer with your team on it. And by Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
A reminder, tonight on CBS, the Agents of NCIS Los Angeles start the new season on a new night. Don't miss LL Cool J and Chris O'Donnell in NCIS Los Angeles tonight after 60 minutes only. CBS. Charkandrick West in the backfield. Movement up front. Flags fly.
Encroachment. Defense number 96. 5-yard penalty. Still third down.
That's Muhammad Wilkerson.
Third down and 34 yards.
Darrell Rivas being looked at on the sideline.
It was earlier on a tackle he made at Charkandrick West over on the sideline. Don't know if something came up, if he got poked in the eye or something went in his eye.
Alex Smith throws it near side. That's complete to West out of the backfield, out of bounds. Stops the clock with 40 seconds to play. That's another first down for Kansas City.
By Marcus Williams, and completion good for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Well, and this makes me wonder even more, Greg, because those 40 seconds that they let run off before they called the timeout, now you're at the 40-yard line. You're 20 yards away or so from, or less, from a field goal attempt if you want to try and get some points before the half. You do have a couple timeouts, so they can still utilize the whole field if they want.
Alex Smith going to go deep for the first time today. Incomplete. Intended for Jeremy Macklin. And covered by Justin Burris.
He was covered by Justin
the rookie out of North Carolina State.
Well, and Burris is who came in for Darrell Rivas, so it's. We thought they would try and attack that more in a quicker situation, but they finally got the first down and decided to take a shot up the field and go after the rookie.
His first shot up the field today.
Everything's been pretty short and underneath. He had a couple dig routes over the middle, maybe 13, 15 yards, but nothing really up the field like that one.
On 2nd and 10. Smith up the middle. Incomplete. Intended for Macklin once again.
Smith's pass intended for Jeremy Macklin.
Let's go back to a few minutes ago where Rivas was involved in this play.
3rd down and 10 from the 40-yard line.
That's an earlier play against Chris Conley.
And at this point, he looks like he's going to be the spectator for the last 29 seconds of this half. 3rd and 10. Pulled it down. Nowhere to go, and he goes down back at the 32-yard line. Sheldon Richardson with the sack. And clock continues to move. That looks like that'll be the last play of this first half. So this is a kick that Dustin Colquitt will never get off because time has expired. Here at Arrowhead Stadium in a first half that the Kansas City Chiefs just dominated. Turnovers by the Jets. Opportunity knocked for the Kansas City Chiefs, and they took advantage. 17-3, Kansas City. We'll back with the Verizon Halftime Report after this message and a word from your local station. This is the NFL on CBS. Intercepted at the 35-yard line by Marcus Peters. Kelsey looking for the corner. Touchdown, Kansas City. Right up the middle. Lost the football. Picked off by the Chiefs. This is Demetrius Harris for the touchdown. And we are at halftime at Arrowhead Stadium in Kansas City, getting ready for the start of the third quarter. It's 17-3 in favor of the Chiefs. A look at the first half highlight presented by DirecTV, and it was Jalen Marshall's fumble on a kickoff return right into the waiting arms of Demetrius Harris, who took it into the end zone for the touchdown. 17-3 is the score. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. This is a Jets team that was rolling on offense. Fourth best offense in the league coming into this game. Just 114 yards of offense in the first half. What do they do? They're in some funk.
You know, they've really struggled in the Jets. You look at Ryan Fitzpatrick completing under 50% of his passes, rushing the football. They haven't been very effective. They come into this game with Matt Forte being one of the leading rushers in the league. So what do you need to do? I think they need to change up the tempo. They need to find a different rhythm coming in and out of the huddle. Maybe go to some no huddle. Try and get Ryan Fitzpatrick into some kind of a rhythm, because right now the defense is dialed in for Kansas City.
As we mentioned earlier, the Jets rolled up 493 total yards at Buffalo week 2. Only 114 so far here today, and they are in a 2-touchdown hole, 17-3. As we get set to start the second half, and the New York Jets will kick it away to Kansas City. At the 5-yard line. This is Tyreek Hill. Hill reverses and maybe loses a yard. Let's go down to Jamie.
Greg, 90 seconds left in the first half. We saw Darrelle Revis leave the field. He was questionable to return with an eye injury, but Todd Bowles just told me they checked him out at the half, and he is coming back on now to play this first defensive series for the Jets. I also caught up with Andy Reid to end the first half. Alex Smith told us the Jets have an unconventional defense, but Reid said they were able to exploit that despite the blitzes that they saw early, and he expects that early on here too, Greg.
Unconventional is working pretty good for the Kansas City Chiefs so far. Thanks, Jamie. Spencer Ware in the backfield. And Alex Smith goes to work deep in his own territory. They'll give to Ware. Shakes one tackler, but is hit hard. At about the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard gain to the 10. Muhammad Wilkerson.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how the Jets come out here and respond to whatever halftime presentation Todd Bowles had, because they need to pick up the tempo on both sides of the football, and Chiefs have done a good job of protecting the football after having turned the ball over the first 2 games of the season. They're doing a good job with that, but you mentioned, or Jamie mentioned, just the mix-up that was going on offensively for the Chiefs and keeping the Jets defense off balance.
Smith on the slant, complete to Chris Conley. Conley out to the 30-yard line, and that's a first down.
Chris Conley.
This is just a quick throw. It's a slant to the outside. You see the slant. You look to the quick throw to the outside on the flat. You get the coverage to jump that, and you hit the slant in that second window. Big body like Conley. Put that football on his body so the defender can't get to it.
Alex Smith throws a slant from the other side, and that's complete across the 45. And that's Jeremy Maclin. Just that everything looks like it's working on offense for Kansas City.
Well, this is 2 plays in a row. They're trying to attack the aggressiveness of the Jets defense. A quick flash fake. Alex Smith acting like he's going to do a handoff and hitting that slant in the second window. He just hit it to Conley on the left, that time to Maclin on the right. Like I said, right now they're dialed in and taking advantage of that aggression the Jets are showing.
47-yard line, first down again for Kansas City. This is West. Or maybe a yard. Sheldon Richardson with the stop. The quarterbacks have done today.
Pretty impressive, Alex Smith, 18 of 24, and he spread it around to 7 different receivers. He's been efficient with the football. On the other side, Fitzpatrick really not getting anything going after coming off of a great day against the Buffalo Bills, throwing for close to 400 yards. Today, not quite dialed in yet with his receivers.
Eric Decker has not caught a pass yet today for the Jets. Brandon Marshall, just 2 receptions for 20 yards.
Tarkandrick West just came limping off the field for the Chiefs.
2nd and 9. Smith going to go deep down the sideline for Hill. Out of bounds.
Smith's pass intended for Tyreek Hill.
Rule, he only had the 1 foot inbound, didn't get that 2nd foot down. Not even sure if that left one made it in. Nope, that one was in, but can't quite get that 2nd one in.
Young Mr. Hill looks like he can motor, doesn't he?
He's pretty dynamic. He's got a lot of speed, that's for sure. And not only is it straight ahead speed, it's the change of direction speed. So using him on the inside in the slot and also as effective as he's been in the return game.
And we get a penalty marker.
It's either delay game or...
First charge timeout, Kansas City.
Okay, so the Chiefs got the timeout call in before the penalty flag flew. We'll take a break with 12:17 to play in the 3rd. This weekend, we had football at all levels here in Kansas City as the rival Rockhurst Hawklets and Blue Springs Wildcats battled it out with some high school football under the Friday night lights about 20 minutes away from here. You know anything about this game? Anything at all?
Well, I'm very involved right there. That number 10 right there is my son Derek, completing a big pass over the middle, so very proud of him. It was, tough fought game. Blue Springs ended up winning. That's 2 of the better programs in the Kansas City area, so we did get to see some good high school football.
You called that play from the sideline, didn't you? I know you did. 3rd and 9 for Alex Smith and the Kansas City Chiefs. Oof.
Flags on the play.
That was ugly on the offensive line. Kelsey on the
Full
run.
start. Offense number 87. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
It's only the 3rd offensive penalty of the day.
We always do quarterback comparisons, and it's usually statistics, but this time we're going to look this is all in the 2005 draft. First overall pick, Alex Smith, and then 250th overall, Ryan Fitzpatrick.
Last quarterback.
Yes, I can relate a little bit more to Ryan Fitzpatrick. I was the 222nd pick, so and Bledsoe went number one my year. So, and then Meyer number 2. So there's a lot of quarterbacks taken away.
3rd and 14, Smith throwing, and out of the backfield is Ware across midfield, and that'll bring out the punting unit.
Spencer Ware.
But you carry around, Trent, that list of higher draft picks who didn't make it, and you revel in reading that off every once in a while.
Yes, it's I could tell you all the guys drafted ahead of me. You can see here Ryan Fitzpatrick, Alex Smith, 16 offensive coordinators between them, and yes, they've bounced around some different teams. Alex only being on 2 teams. I lost count with Ryan Fitzpatrick, the number of teams that he's been on. So it's been pretty impressive, the careers that those 2 have been able to put together, considering where they were drafted and what they've been able to do.
Jalen Marshall makes the fair catch inside the 10-yard line as Dustin Colquitt recovers from the high snap.
41-yard.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest. Yes to low fares with nothing to hide. That's transparency. Walmart. Save money, live better. And by Hyundai, official sponsor of the NFL.
Little glimpse of the Plaza Art Fair going on here in Kansas City as the Jets take over at their own 7-yard line. Forte looking for running room and getting it outside across the 15. Has a first down out of bounds across the 20-yard line. Steven Nelson wrestled him out.
The Chiefs were late to getting into a shift, and you can see they shifted away from where Forte ended up taking that run, trying to run to the right side, and everything collapsed. He was able to cut it back and pick up the first down, get the Jets out of the hole. They had terrible field position there.
13-yard pickup, Forte's longest run of the day. From the 23, Fitzpatrick. Sideline, and that is complete to Bilal Powell. and out of bounds at about the 28.
Well, I mentioned this, Greg, when we came out of the half, that I thought the Jets would change their tempo up. You know, coming into this game, they had a 14-minute time of possession advantage over their two previous opponents, and I know they like to control the clock, they like to run the football, they like to mix it up, but I just think to try and get into a rhythm, especially Ryan Fitztragic, if you want your quarterback to get into a rhythm, sometimes you need to change things up a little bit, and so far they've been able to have some success on this drive, but we'll see how this continues to develop.
And I repeat, Eric Decker has not made a catch so far today. This is Powell. And Powell spins just across the 30-yard line. And this offense in this young season so far for the Jets has been based on hitting Brandon Marshall, hitting Eric Decker, Inunwa getting into the action.
Well, and that's the thing. You talk about Decker not having a catch. Quincy Inunwa only has one catch. He came into this game leading the team in receptions. Brandon Marshall only with 2 catches for 20 yards. So that three-headed monster at wide receiver has yet to really be involved.
It's not much of a monster so far. 3rd and 2. Fitzpatrick going to throw for it. Far sideline, incomplete. Brandon Marshall, the intended receiver, and Philip Gaines was right there with him.
Brandon Marshall. He was covered by Philip Gaines.
Now, I asked you this before the game, and I'll ask you again. Does it make that much difference that Brandon Marshall missed practice since he injured his knee?
You know, for me, I like getting reps with guys during the week, and so for me it would have been a big deal because I like getting the timing going into it. Now, Ryan Fitzpatrick told us if there's one guy I don't need the reps with during the week, it's Brandon Marshall, and so far they haven't been on the same page.
Tyreek Hill getting up a speed and out of bounds about the 40-yard line. Pretty good field position once again for Alex Smith and the Chiefs offense. Saturday, it's the best game from the best conference when the 14th-ranked Tennessee Vols tangle with the 12th-ranked Georgia Bulldogs. It all begins with the CBS College Football Special and College Football Today. We were kind of glancing at the TV set at those Tennessee Volunteers.
Yeah, that was really an unbelievable comeback that they put together. It was as we're sitting there and waiting on the teams to get there, waiting for the Jets to get there, we had a chance to catch up on some college football.
I understand Les Miles was fired today.
That's the kind of business, you know.
Meanwhile, Brandon Marshall trying to get it straight. What's interference and what isn't? First down. Chiefs at their own 37. Spencer Ware for a couple close to the 40-yard line. Well, he's not a lawyer, but he knows how to win the case. Michael Weatherly stars in TV's #1 new show, Bull. New episode Tuesday after NCIS. That's DiNozzo, you know, just another name.
Teaser put 3 receivers to the left side, putting Kelsey one-on-one on that top side.
Alex Smith on the slant. It's there again. Kelsey, 35, 30, runs over a Jet inside the 20-yard line. Marcus Gilchrist tried to square up with him and lost out.
Well, sometimes timing works out, Greg. I just got through pointing out that the Chiefs put Travis Kelsey up here one-on-one with Kelvin Pryor, had the other 3 receivers down at the bottom just trying to do a clear out. You're going to see the flat coming just to get the underneath coverage out of the way. Alex Smith hits Kelsey right in stride, and Pryor just can't keep up. And big first down for Kansas City.
And Marcus Gilchrist. Kelsey, 6 catches, 89 yards. That one was good for 42. Another one inside the 10 to about the 6. Chris Conley on the receiving end, and much like the first half, looks like Alex Smith just can pick and choose where he wants to go.
Well, and he's getting the ball out quickly. They've had a lot of success with these slant routes, especially in the second half, anticipating the Jets were going to bring pressure. They had to change something up defensively, and guess what? They're going to try and bring pressure. Let's do some flash fakes to the running backs, get that underneath coverage to bite up, you hit that slant in the second window. You can see the numbers, the way that Alex Smith is spreading it around now. 8 different receivers catching passes.
All the momentum swings have gone the way of the Chiefs today. Ware turns the corner, looking for the end zone, diving, touchdown.
Spencer Ware just getting to the corner. Watch David Harris as he's going. He decides to go to the inside. When he goes to the inside, Ware has the speed to get around to the outside. And sometimes as a defender, you have to guess which side you go. If you bounce to the outside, the runner cuts it inside, then you lose that way as well. But with David Harris cutting around to the inside, it gave Ware the edge. You hit that pylon with the ball, it's going to be a touchdown.
So they're going to take a look. We're going to take a break. And the Kansas City Chiefs are on a roll.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Verizon. Welcome to Verizon LTE Advanced, the next-gen network. And by State Farm. Talk to an agent today at 800-STATE-FARM.
Here's Bill Vinovich. This is going to be interesting.
After reviewing the play, ruling on the field is reversed. The runner lost possession of the ball, and the ball was fumbled forward into the end zone, which results in a touchback. First and 10 of the Jets at the 20-yard line.
Well, we were talking about how there hasn't been a single swing of momentum in favor of the New York Jets. This could count as one.
Well, and after we went to commercial and we were talking about it, Greg, we've been in big discussion. Okay, you can see his foot hits the sideline. So is his foot out of bounds? If his foot's out of bounds before he loses control, then it's Chiefs ball. Then it's Chiefs ball inside the 1. If he doesn't lose the ball until earlier and it goes out of the end zone, then it's touchback for the Jets. Or was it enough to overturn it? So there were 3 different scenarios. Could have been touchdown Chiefs, first down Chiefs, or Chiefs ball inside the 1, or as it ended up, a touchback. And really, you've got to determine when his foot hit the sideline. Was the ball coming loose before the foot hit the sideline? Did it hit the pylon and go out? There were so many factors we had going through our mind, and ultimately it was decided that it's a touchback and big momentum swing for the Jets.
Definitely losing control of the ball before he gets to the pylon.
First and 10 Jets from the New York 20-yard line.
So the Jets take over at their own 20-yard line and catch a break. Fitzpatrick down the sideline. Incomplete, intended for Marshall, and he gets the flag this time. Philip Gaines on the coverage.
Well, and you talked about a momentum swing, Greg. The crowd was trying to get into it to keep things going in the Chiefs' favor.
Defense number 23. Spot foul, automatic first down.
So there's a 19-yard pickup.
Marshall one-on-one going up the sideline, and Fitzpatrick just gets it out there a little bit. He may have a completion, but Gaines not turning around and running through Brandon Marshall brings the flag.
So first down Jets, Fitzpatrick to throw again. The screen, Forte, nothing but Chiefs.
Fitzpatrick's pass complete to Matt Forte.
To about the 42.
He was tackled by Jay Howard.
And same thing. I mean, you see the Jets walking back to the huddle, and I know this is their normal tempo, and this is what they normally do. They're down 14. I don't know. I just like to see a tempo change just to get them going a little bit.
Look at the vast difference in offense from week 2 to week 3 for the New York Jets. On 2nd and 7, Forte again straight up the middle. Across the 45, and they'll mark it at about the 48-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 1.
Tackled by Dontari Poe and Jay Howard.
Well, you start looking at the Jets on the day, only 2 of 7 on 3rd down conversions. Now, unfortunately for them, most of those have been 3rd and long. They haven't been 3rd and less than a yard, so crucial for them to get this first down near midfield.
Fitzpatrick flips it out, and that's complete to Quincy Enunwa. And that's a first down for the Jets.
Fitzpatrick's pass is complete to Quincy Enunwa.
Just a quick flash and get it out in space. Just Enunwa's second catch on the day, picks up a crucial first down.
So the Jets now at the Kansas City 43. Forte dodges one tackler. And out to about the 36-yard line where Eric Berry makes the stop. Tonight, on the season premiere of 60 Minutes, is the war on ISIS a world war? The King of Jordan says it is. Plus, a frightening scenario about Russia and their nuclear weapons. Tonight, only CBS.
Second down and 4 from the Kansas City 37-yard line.
That is a complete turnaround from what you expect of the New York Jets offense.
Well, we already mentioned that one. Eric Dicker with no catches.
Fitzpatrick over the middle. That's complete inside the 20-yard line to Enunwa once again, and a first down.
Well, and that's where Enunwa had been effective in the first two games against Cincinnati and Buffalo because of his size, his ability to go over the middle, and his ability to catch footballs in traffic. One of Fitzpatrick's better throws on the day.
Another first down for the Jets. Fitzpatrick going to lob this one down the sideline. It is grabbed by Marshall. Was he in bounds? No, he wasn't.
He was covered by Philip Wades.
Is that a one-handed grab by number 15?
Yes, it was. Fitzpatrick recognizing man-to-man across the board. Going to Marshall. Let's see, he brings it in with one. He's got right foot.
Looked like he might have been bobbling it on the way out of bounds.
Well, it looks like they're going man-to-man again. You got to look at Eric Berry's going to favor over to that side.
Forte to about the 16 where Tamba Ali makes the stop, and it'll be third down. And you know, Todd Bowles is over there thinking about what he's going to do if he doesn't get it on third down here.
Well, a lot of it depends on if he gets any yardage. Does he get this to a fourth and short, then you would consider it. I think you look for Enunwa over the ball. The Chiefs have been doing a pretty good job on the outside. There's one of two things depending on who's matched up. Right now you got Decker one-on-one with Philip Gaines. He's on the top of the screen up here. You got one-on-one and you got Berry in the middle of the field.
Play clock is down to 1. Did they get it off in time? They did. The pass is caught by Bilal Powell.
Well, there's your situation, Greg.
And he's about a yard short of a first down. And what does Todd Bowles do?
Well, I think Todd's going to go for it. I think it's a close enough mark.
From the 9-yard line.
That's what it looks like he's going to do.
Powell out, Forte onto the field on 4th and 1. And we're going to get an official measurement just for kicks.
Timeout for a measurement.
These New York Jets historically don't do well in the comeback department on the road. When they trail by 14 or more points on the road at halftime, they are 0-62 all time. And that's almost unbelievable.
When I heard about that number, I was like, are you talking about like in the last 20 years? Are you talking about, look at that.
Forever.
0-62 by 14 points at halftime.
Oh, for forever.
Road games is the key there. Road games.
It's
4th and 1. got Matt Forte in the backfield. We have some talented receivers, one of which hasn't touched the ball yet today, and Eric Decker.
Well, I think they're going to run the football here. You think coming into this game, they're 5th in the league in rushing, and the Chiefs are 30th in rush defense. Unless you want to throw up one of these one-on-ones, you like your big receivers. Do you try going down here? Marshall one-on-one with Marcus Peters?
Fake to it. The give is Enunwa, and Enunwa has the first down to the 6.
Fitzpatrick's pass complete to Quincy Enunwa.
We talked to Ryan Fitzpatrick yesterday about Enunwa and how he's developed as a player. A year ago, he was more of that blocking wide receiver, big body, almost like a tight end type body. When you look at the size and strength that he has, he said that when he came back to the team after getting the contract situation squared away, he thought Quincy Enunwa had developed the most in the offseason in terms of really making himself a good receiver.
First and goal. Fitzpatrick going to throw it into the end zone and almost intercepted. Eric Berry straight up to get a hand on it.
Well, they're attempting to get the ball to Eric Decker in the slot. On the outside, Marshall just runs a hitch. Decker's running a fade to the corner. Ryan Fitzpatrick doesn't get this high enough, doesn't get it to the back corner. Eric Berry almost comes up with the interception of the year with that, if he had been able to bring that down.
Second and goal. Just over a minute and a half remaining here in the third. Fitzpatrick, end zone, tipped, intercepted in the end zone by Berry. Derek Johnson, leader on that defense, Trent.
Well, you're going to try squeezing the slant in here, but keep your eye. Derek Johnson, he's going to be here. He starts running to the flat, and at the last second, you can see Fitzpatrick drawing it to the flat, and then he falls off, and he's able to get underneath it, tip that ball in the air. Eric Berry with the interception. So you can see Ryan Fitzpatrick, he tried sliding to the right to find that window, but he was fooled a little bit by Derek Johnson because initially Derek started running towards the flat. So as a quarterback, you see that movement. You think you can hit the back shoulder and get it in there. Wasn't able to hit the back shoulder. Derek Johnson tipped it in the air, allowing Eric Berry to get the interception.
The drive gets the Jets nothing, and Spencer Ware for about 3, maybe 4 yards before David Harris makes the stop.
And think about it, Greg.
With NFL Game Pass, watch the games you missed with condensed games in 45 minutes or the full broadcast version. Start a free trial today at NFL.com/Game Pass. You were saying?
I was going to say that think about the turn of events these last 2 series. So the Chiefs were right knocking on the door at the goal line there, about ready to go up 21. The fumble out of the end zone gives the touchback. The Jets go down the other way. They're about to score and make this a 7-point game. So it's been a pretty drastic third quarter.
This is Ware. And Ware will make it a 3rd and 2. And we come up on 40 seconds remaining here in the third. A couple of times you and I thought that Ryan Fitzpatrick tried to force something where a play didn't exist.
Well, and that's one of the things that when you start looking at breaking him down as a quarterback, he has a strong arm. He's very smart. He can make all the throws, but sometimes he has too much confidence in that arm where he thinks he can just fire it in there, and that really caught up to him on that last interception, just trying to fire it in between 3 defenders.
Alex Smith, first down, across the 35. Loose ball. And it is going to be marked down. Going to be marked down at about the 35-yard line, but that'll be enough for a Kansas City first down.
Running on the field as the runner was down by contact. That's the end of the third quarter.
And we come to the end of the third, 17-3 Chiefs. We're back to Kansas City after this message and a word from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Kansas City, along with our producer, Jim Rickoff, our director, Suzanne Smith, Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Jamie Erdahl as we start the fourth quarter. Kansas City with the ball in a 17-3 lead. And on first down, Spencer Ware breaks it outside. Ware up the sideline and out of bounds. Into Jet territory to 48. Darrelle Revis pushed him out.
Supposed to be a run up the middle, but Spencer Ware noticing that the defense had collapsed, bounced it around to the outside. Chiefs are catching the Jets being overly aggressive right now, and you can understand why they're being overly aggressive. They're trying to make a comeback, and the defense is trying to do too much, and they're trying to pursue, but the Chiefs have been dialed in with how to attack it.
Niall Davis is the deep back in the backfield now. It's Alex Smith with the pass to Anthony Sherman out of the backfield to the 45. As a couple of the backs get a rest, and we remind you, Week 3 continues with Sunday Night Football on NBC and Monday Night Football on ESPN, and then Week 4 kicks off with Thursday Night Football on the NFL Network. Kansas City stacking up the total yardage and helped along immensely by New York Jets turnovers this afternoon.
Well, and the Jets come in averaging over 400 yards on offense. You can see, Greg, they're not even at 200 yet.
This is Ware. Deion Simon in the middle of that defensive stop.
Tackled by Deion Simon.
Deion's a little guy at 6'4" and 332.
Well, and the Chiefs have had to, this is the third game of the season, and they've had 3 different combinations of offensive line after the first game losing both their guards. Duvernay Tardif was able to get back this week, but in a backup role. So Jordan Devy starting at right guard.
Quick pass to the near side. This is Macklin. Macklin looking for the first down marker, and he is right there at the 38-yard line.
Rips through the arm tackle by Revis.
And we're going to get a measurement right in front of Andy Reid.
Well, I was laughing. Did you see what Andy did there? He was laughing. The officials were looking, trying to decide if they're going to measure it. And he's giving the first. He's standing by the chains, giving the first down signal. It's like, Andy, I don't think they're going to fall for your or want your opinion on this.
That's called really close.
What, our camera on top of the sticks there, or the what a great shot!
A little both.
That was a great shot.
On 4th and inches, the offense is going to stay on the field.
Well, in a 2-touchdown lead here. Gutsy call. Unless they're going to just try drawing them off sides, take the penalty, and then go ahead and punt it. That's what I would think, that they're going to try and get them to jump off sides, and if they can't get them to jump off sides, take the penalty and punt it. But been some crazy things happening here today. So
yeah, plenty of time on the play clock. Oh, given to Ware. Going to be right at that marker again, but from here it doesn't look like he made it.
And they're already signaling that it's the other way, so it's.
So the Jets once again with a chance to maybe take advantage of a swing in momentum. They'll get the ball back. 12:21 to play. Hey, welcome back, everyone. September is Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. We here at CBS are partnering with St. Jude Children's Research Hospital to raise awareness for this very worthy cause. And yesterday, Our reporter extraordinaire, Jamie Erdahl, was the MC for the St. Jude 5K run and walk through downtown Kansas City. 1,200 people registered. Jamie was the third female finisher, ably goaded and pushed by a member of our crew, Ade Ellis. Jamie Erdahl, you're our hero.
Oh, thank you, Greg. I'm telling you, I had a tough coach there, but hey, we finished it, and it was for a good cause.
That pass is incomplete. Intended for Jalen Marshall.
Greg, I didn't know she finished third. That's a pretty impressive showing.
You mean Jamie Erdahl Bolt?
Trent, here's a question. Do you want to race? And
No,
then we'll see
no.
if I could beat you at that too?
No.
Because I already beat you at one thing this year.
I know, exactly. I can't wait to get you in a free throw shooting contest since you
it's on.
since you beat
We
me in the
got
football
14 more weeks,
contest.
my
Right.
friend.
That's right.
There are gauntlets flying all over the place here. 2nd and 10. Fitzpatrick on the move, throwing over the middle, incomplete. Intended for Eric Decker, excuse me. And Steven Nelson was on the coverage.
Well, Steven Nelson's done a good job in protection. He's been asked to cover a lot of guys quite a bit bigger. I know Nelson's listed at 5'11". I'm not so sure that's accurate. He'd be maybe closer to 5'10" than 5'11", but he's going against these big receivers of the Jets. He's held up well today.
The Jets just 3 for 9 on 3rd down today. Fitzpatrick steps up over the middle, and he's got his man, and that's Decker's first catch of the day. Decker inside the 30 for a first down.
Fitzpatrick's pass complete to Eric Decker.
Looked a lot like the play on 2nd down.
Well, they had him in the slot, and they were trying to get him into the middle of the field. You could see the cross route they do, and Nunwa going to the outside, Decker coming to the inside. Eric Berry taking a bad angle to try and undercut that, and see Ron Parker coming up with the tackle around the legs.
31-yard pickup. And a first down for the Jets, and this is Forte. Forte with a tough yard inside. Desmond Moses with the stop.
Well, I'm sorry about that, Greg, but it goes without saying they've got to go down and finish this drive. Last time they got down in there and had the tip ball for the interception, but you're running out of time here. Down to 11 minutes, down by 14. You got to take advantage of this field position that the Chiefs gave you, and the fact that time of possession is heavily weighted in the Chiefs' favor. But you've been able to get some things going here. You got to go down and get this into the end zone.
You know, it was the Chiefs talking about having to finish plays when we spoke to the teams over the weekend. 2nd and 9. Fitzpatrick right up the middle, running room, and dives forward to the 20-yard line.
Ryan Fitzpatrick, the ball carrier. Was tackled by Philip Gaines.
They're getting on the ball here quick, trying to get a quick snap.
3rd and 1. Fitzpatrick trying to sneak for it. And he has
Ryan Fitzpatrick, the ball carrier.
to the 19 and a first down.
I know this has been mentioned many times in Ryan Fitzpatrick's career.
About the sliding.
Do you notice how he doesn't slide? It doesn't matter if it's 5 years ago or this year or what it is. He just fires his head in there and just goes for it. So this time calling his own number. He's like, oh, I don't want to push behind my big guard and get the first down. I want to go to the outside and go one-on-one with the outside linebacker.
2 red zone trips for the Jets today. 1 field goal, 1 interception. Fitzpatrick flips it out to the side. It goes nowhere. Forte is hit by Derek Johnson.
Derek Johnson read that from the get-go. He was on the left side, lined up. You're going to watch him here. He's going to go right along. He's got Matt Forte in man-to-man coverage, and as soon as he sees Forte go up into the line of scrimmage, he runs around to the outside, not allowing the offensive line, in this case, Nick Mangold, not allowing him time to get up and get that block on the screenplay.
Line of scrimmage back to the 24, loss of 5, and it's 2nd and 15. Coming up on 9 minutes remaining in regulation. Pass underneath, that's complete to the rookie Jalen Marshall.
Fitzpatrick's pass complete to
And that's down to about the 16-yard line and another big third down facing the Jets.
Well, and I'm okay with that, Greg. This is you have to think at this time of the game, this score of the game, you just want to get about half the yardage back, make this a more doable third down, and I think even if they don't make it here, you go for it on fourth down. But they're going to try and find the best matchup they can and pick it up without having to roll the dice.
The Jets need the 9-yard line for a first down.
Look at the space here on Decker. A lot of room.
Fitzpatrick firing to the sideline, and he's going to get a penalty flag. Jalen Marshall, the intended receiver, and Philip Gaines, again going to be the guilty party.
Well, and I can't imagine this was a catchable
Pass
ball.
interference. Defense number 23. Spot foul. Automatic first down.
Andy Reid all the way down to about the 20-yard line on the near sideline.
Oh, there's clearly contact there. Definitely contact, but you can see from that angle, he could have caught that ball. If there's not contact and he continues to run, he definitely could have caught that ball. That was a really good call. I thought he was going to go to Decker. There was off coverage. He could hit Decker for the first down. Instead, now they got first and goal with the penalty.
Fitzpatrick over the middle, diving in the end zone. Inunwa couldn't come up with it. It'll be second and goal.
I know I mentioned it earlier with Steven Nelson and his size at 5'11", but Quincy Enunwa at 6'2", 225. There's Fitzpatrick trying to fire that thing in there again.
Play clock down to 3, down to 2, down to 1, and they get it off. Stepping forward, throwing, tipped, caught in the end zone. Intercepted, Marcus Peters again.
Under pressure, trying to make a tough throw. Interception, Chiefs.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by National Mortgage Lender Quicken Loans, home buy, refi, power. Domino's, order online at domino's.com. And by Toyota, let's go places.
Well, from week 2 to week 3, it's been a totally different New York Jets team.
Drastically different, and a lot of it's due to the turnovers. That bottom number, 5 turnovers today, but just not producing from a yard standpoint. Time of possession, just all the things they did so well the first 2 weeks, not happening here today.
This is Spencer Ware, and that's going to lose a couple of yards. Boy, the turnovers have really stung the Jets. Hit them hard today.
Well, pressure on Fitzpatrick, not able to step into that ball. Marcus Peters undercutting it. Fumble on the run, and then this one, just a gift for Demetrius Harris to run into the end zone on the kickoff return, and then the last interception in the end zone. Under pressure, once again, trying to make a tight throw. Tipped ball.
I will never make fun of a tip drill again. Because
that's an important. It's been all over today.
It's been gold for the Kansas City Chiefs today. Second and 11. Pass out here the near side. That's Macklin. And Macklin across the 20 to about the 22 or the 23. And some pushing and shoving.
I always get a kick out of that, Greg. Anytime a guy throws his hands up in the air, you see Jordan Jenkins,
yeah.
He throws his hands up in the air. You know you're involved in some way, shape, or form if you throw your hands up in the air. Steven Nelson and Marcus Peters have reason to smile and laugh over there.
We get a timeout called by the Chiefs before the play clock expires. They use their second of the day. 6:51 to play in a fourth quarter of a game that's all Chiefs. 6:51 to play. NFL Play 60. The NFL's movement for a more active generation encourages fans to get moving and play for 60 minutes every day. Learn how you can join the NFL Play 60 movement at NFL.com/Play60. And earlier today, it was a healthy tailgate for 11 local Play 60 student ambassadors.
Third down at 7 from the Chiefs' 23-yard line.
Well, I'm glad that's the tailgate they went to. I generally haven't been to a lot of the healthy tailgates. That probably says more about me, right?
On 3rd and 7, Alex Smith to throw over the middle and overthrew his intended receiver, Chris Conley. He had him too.
Well, and as crazy as this sounds, there's 6:47 to go in this game. The Jets still have 3 timeouts. This game's far from over because the Chiefs, I mean, even consider what's been going on here in the second half. They're keeping this thing within range. If the Jets can just make a play and get that one score on the board.
Jalen Marshall back at his own 25. Colquitt. And fair catch called for and made by Marshall. 6:39 to play. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Jets have a comeback in them. We'll find out shortly.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Progressive, handing off big savings to you. And by Subway Restaurants.
Welcome back to Arrowhead, everyone. Reminder, your weekend starts on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins battle the Cincinnati Bengals. It's Thursday night football on the NFL Network. Look at the last 4 possessions of the New York Jets. It's just been a frustrating outing for the Jets today.
You know, and it has been. You look at they've been able to put some yards together and put some drives together, 9-play drive, 11-play drive, 10-play drive. And as crazy as this is, Ryan Fitzpatrick, he's 15 of 30, no touchdowns, 3 interceptions. But he can still lead these guys down, get a score on the board, and make this thing an interesting game to wrap up here. And quarterback, it's how you finish games, not necessarily how you start all the time.
Fitzpatrick on the slant. That's Brandon Marshall. Marshall trying to make something out of nothing. Out across the 25 to about the 26-yard line. Ron Parker with the tackle.
Well, I know Brandon Marshall didn't want to make an issue about his knee injury a week ago, but you wonder if he was just a step slow there. Maybe he could have gotten away from that late tackle.
Second and 3. Fitzpatrick with a rifle shot over the middle, and it's knocked down. Intended for Enunwa. Ron Parker batted it down. That'll stop the clock with 6:07 to play.
You can see Fitzpatrick trying to fire this in there.
Let's go down to Jamie.
Hey, Greg, on that last tackle on Brandon Marshall, he went down pretty hard. He stayed on that side of the field, clapped his hands a few times that Ryan Fitzpatrick waved his hand away from him, implying I would think that play needs to go away from him so he could take that last play, just a break on that knee, because it did look like he was favoring it a bit.
All right, Jamie, thank you. On 3rd and 3, the give is to Bilal Powell, and Powell up the middle to midfield and a first down for the Jets.
Bilal Powell, the ball carrier. Tackled by Daniel Sorensen. First and 10.
He's going to work it right up the middle. Sorensen coming up making that tackle.
Fitzpatrick with time. Lofts it down the sideline, incomplete. Enunwa was over there. Jalen Marshall was over there.
That's generally not a good sign when you have 2 receivers right next to each other, but that was more just guys trying to make something happen. The initial play had broken down. The Chiefs had gotten enough pressure on Fitzpatrick. He had to flush, and really, I think more than anything, he was throwing the ball away.
Bad sign when 2 receivers are in the same place. Even worse when neither one of them catches the ball.
Right.
Forte, good receiver out of the backfield on 2nd and 10. Tried to get it to Forte, popped in the air and knocked down.
Fitzpatrick's pass batted down.
Jay Howard, Tom Ali putting the pressure.
Oh, it hit right into the back of the head
49-yard line.
of Ryan Clady, his left tackle. And that was intended for Forte coming out of the backfield.
Well, and it looks like it was a good thing because Alan Bailey was there to either get the interception or knock it down underneath.
There is a conversation at midfield. The officials.
There was no foul for illegal touch on the pass by an offensive player. It was non-intentional. Please reset the play clock to 25 seconds.
As you said, Greg, that ball hit right in the back of Ryan Clady's head. So
his was the non-intentional involvement.
His was the non-intentional part.
This is very intentional right here, but the ball had already hit the teammate. Jets have converted their last 3 third downs, 3rd and 10 here. Fitzpatrick. That's complete to Marshall and Jalen Marshall. Marshall to the 40 and enough for a first down. Clock continues to move. 5:20 to play in the fourth.
To Jalen Marshall.
As Trent mentioned, not just plenty of time, but 3 timeouts available to the Jets.
Well, and Fitzpatrick going to this up-tempo, almost a 2-minute type of offense.
Fitzpatrick with all kinds of time going deep. It is incomplete, almost intercepted by Daniel Sorensen.
Fitzpatrick's pass intended for Eric Decker, broken up by Daniel Sorensen.
Well, veteran quarterbacks can get caught up in it just like young quarterbacks. If you come back and you're just staring at a guy that long, the safety's going to get over the top. He's just going to be drawn by your eyes. That time Fitzpatrick lucky that he didn't throw interception number 4.
40-yard line.
2nd and 10. You have to know that if it comes down to a 4th down, they'll look for the touchdown. They'll look to continue the play. That one over the middle, incomplete, intended for Enunwa.
Yeah, this is the point of the game, Greg, with under 5 minutes to go, down 2 touchdowns. You do have the 3 timeouts, but definitely it's not a question of whether you go for it on 4th down. It just, depending on where you go for 4th down and what part of the field you're going to be.
Third and 10. Fitzpatrick throwing near sideline. It is almost intercepted again. Eric Berry. 4th down.
I know you're trying to get big chunks. I guess I just don't understand where they're not doing more stuff on the inside, more of their quick direction, quick throws at this point in time. You want to strike fast, but you got to get first downs to get there in position to get that score.
The last drive, they had lots of slants working for them. They haven't gone to that once on this drive. 4th down. Fitzpatrick throwing far side. It is. That one is intercepted by Sorensen.
Daniel Sorensen.
What a nightmare trip to Kansas City this has been for the New York Jets. We remind you once again, your weekend begins on Thursday when the Miami Dolphins battle the Cincinnati Bengals. Thursday Night Football on NFL Network.
1st and 10, Kansas City.
Kansas City with the ball at the 23-yard line. Spencer Ware met by Muhammad Wilkerson.
Todd Bowles calls a quick timeout on the far sideline.
Once again, proof positive that this game is really easy if no one blocks you. Okay, next Sunday, NFL on CBS starts early. Trent, pack your bags. Trent, Jamie and I headed out to London for the Colts and Jaguars at a special time. Then the Bills battle the Patriots. Raiders take on the Ravens. The Broncos tangle with the Bucks. All begins at 9 Eastern time. That's 9 a.m. with JB and the guys on the NFL today.
So everybody can have breakfast with us, right?
Hey, they're smiling because they don't yet know how early they have to get up.
Right. 16 from the 16-yard line.
And look at the turnovers. That's just unreal.
Yeah,
you're no shot at winning.
Your +5 in turnover ratio. Your odds are pretty good.
Spencer Ware brought down short of the 15-yard line, and the clock continues. No, another timeout called by the Jets. 4:28 to play, and the Jets use their second of 3 timeouts.
Two big targets for the Jets. You know, coming into this game, we talked to everybody in the Jets, talking about everybody wanted to talk about Marcus Cooper and the job he was going to do, and they said, well, we have a lot of other weapons that Marcus Cooper can't cover everybody, so we're going to find the guy that's open, find the matchup we like, and give credit to the rest of that defense because, as you can see from the numbers of those two guys and just the numbers in general for the Jets offensively, the Chiefs came ready to play defense.
Kansas City's defensive coordinator, Bob Sutton, 13 years a New York Jets assistant. This is Ware across the 20. Forward of progress is going to be marked close to the 25-yard line. And that'll bring out the punting unit for Kansas City. And the Jets use their third and final timeout with 4:21 to play.
Hey, well, we have a chance, Greg. I wanted to. It was interesting talking to Todd Bowles and the co-offensive coordinator for the Chiefs this week, Matt Nagy. Matt Nagy's dad was Todd Bowles' high school coach, one of his high school coaches. So when Matt was telling us about that growing up, he said, "Oh, Todd Bowles was around all the time. We talked about him. He's big, big in our hometown." And Todd got a smile on his face. So I said, "Is it true that Matt Nagy's dad was your high school?" And he got this big smile on his face, and he said, "Yeah, we go back a while."
Jalen Marshall up the middle and hit hard as he crossed the 40-yard line.
Jalen Marshall on the return. He was tackled by DJ Alexander.
And DJ Alexander slow getting off the turf, but he's up. This has been a real dissection of the Jets by Kansas City.
Well, they've been able to get pressure on Ryan Fitzpatrick. Not necessarily a lot of sacks, or any sacks for that matter, but they've been getting pressure and causing some errant throws. Ryan Fitzpatrick on the day completing less than 50%. Does have the 4 interceptions that we're taking a look at right here. Overall, great defensive performance.
Fitzpatrick 17 of 39. Now 18 of 40 as Robbie Anderson makes the catch and moves it out to about the 49-yard line. Jets cannot stop the clock anymore. We're under 4 minutes to play.
2nd and 2 from the 49-yard line.
Push him through. Push him through, Nick.
That pass intercepted again. Derek Johnson. Johnson up the sideline. Now to the middle. To the 10. To the 5. Touchdown!
Well, the agony continues for Ryan Fitzpatrick and the Jets offense. Watch here. Here's Derek Johnson right here. They moved Brandon Marshall in. They wanted to get a shoot route up the sideline, but Derek Johnson doesn't fall for it. He peels back into coverage. He gets over the watch Brandon Marshall come down and try and pick him. Derek Johnson sees it coming. He saw the check. He saw them move Marshall down into a tighter formation. He knew what the play was going to be. That's the preparation Derek Johnson had made. Ryan Fitzpatrick got roped into that by a veteran linebacker, got baited into it. Derek Johnson came out on the strong end of that, getting the pick six.
Santos. A 55-yard interception return for the touchdown by Derek Johnson. What did he tell us right off the bat in our meeting? He said, we played better defense in week number 2, but we didn't win.
And that's what he said. They just wanted to come out with a different attitude, a different approach. They understood it dealt with stopping the run, stopping Matt Forte in the rushing game, but also getting after Ryan Fitzpatrick and understanding if you get pressure on him, that good things can happen for you defensively, and that's what's happened today.
That's 4 consecutive drives by the Jets that ended in an interception, and that's a career high. Oh.
Yeah, that's one of those days that as a quarterback, it's going to be a long flight home and a long week. You can't get to the next game fast enough. You just want to get that out of your memory bank, and sometimes it's just one of those days, and right now it's been a great day for the Chiefs defensively. But did you see how I was talking about with Derek Johnson, how he baited him into that? He just had him thinking on that whole thing, and you can see Brandon Marshall trying to pick him as much as he could. He was trying to get in the way. He was just couldn't get it done.
This is Inunwa from the 1. Cutting it back, breaking up the sideline, and pushed out of bounds in Kansas City territory.
Quincy Inunwa on the return. Pushed out of bounds by James O'Shaughnessy.
Kansas City Chiefs travel to Pittsburgh and then Oakland.
Yeah, Pittsburgh today getting it handed to them pretty good by Philadelphia, which is I think a surprise when you think they got a rookie quarterback in Carson Wentz, and then they have the bye week prior to going to Oakland. Got a nice stretch of quarterbacks there with Ben Roethlisberger, Derek Carr, Drew Brees, so they've got some challenges coming up.
3:18 to play. Fitzpatrick. Bilal Powell. And Powell stopped shy of the 40-yard line. Meanwhile, no picnic upcoming for the New York Jets. They host Seattle, then they have to travel to Pittsburgh and to Arizona.
Well, and right now you got to keep up in this division. It's all about keeping up with the Patriots, and the Patriots keep finding ways to win football games no matter who the quarterback is.
2:50 to play. Fitzpatrick from behind got rid of it in time, and the diving catch is made by Powell. Look at the Jets. A couple of tough tests upcoming in the next month.
Well, and 4 of the next 6 on the road. So road woes they had here today in Kansas City have to get corrected quickly.
Powell. And Powell down to about the 20.
Powell, the ball carrier. Tackled by Daniel Sorensen.
Hand it off to Powell this time, and Powell to about the 16, and that'll take us to the 2-minute warning. 2 minutes to play in the second half. A bad day for the New York Jets. I want to remind you, tonight on CBS begins with the season premiere of 60 Minutes and a report on the war against ISIS, followed by the premiere event, NCIS Los Angeles, plus the new hit drama MacGyver. Tonight, only CBS. 2 minutes to play. Fitzpatrick with time. End zone. Leaping. Marshall intercepted. DJ White, the 6th round draft pick out of Georgia Tech.
Well, you can't accuse Fitzpatrick of not going down swinging. He's still trying to fling it up the field. DJ White with his first career interception.
6 interceptions by the Kansas City defense today.
First and 10 Kansas City from the Chiefs' 20-yard line.
You have to go all the way back to 1975 to find this many turnovers. How's this for a number? Alex Smith. With this win as a starting quarterback, he will go 9-0 for his career in the regular season against the AFC East. 3-0 against the Jets, and he's never thrown an interception in regular season against the AFC East.
That's good stuff. You did some good digging with that. That's impressive.
No, I just have big ears at times. Yeah, this will be a long plane ride home for the Jets. Meanwhile, an awfully happy locker room for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, the Jets are going to have to regroup quickly. They've got Seattle coming into town next week. It's good for them. They get to have a home game. Seattle's the one that has to travel cross country and change all those time zones. So knowing the demeanor and the approach that Todd Bowles brings and the respect that the players in that locker room have for him, I anticipate them responding and having a good week of preparation.
Kansas City had that great run at the tail end of the season last year, won 12 of their last 13 regular season games, and with a win here, will have won 8 in a row here at Arrowhead Stadium. Well, if this was a measure to find out where these teams look in comparison to the competition around the league, the Kansas City Chiefs are coming out of this looking pretty good.
Well, there were a lot of people talking about this being a potential playoff battle. These two teams are fighting not only within their division, but when the season comes to an end, these could be two of the teams fighting for one of those playoff spots. So this was a big statement for an early season contest between these two.
Big day for the Kansas City Chiefs. Great defensive performance for the New York Jets back to the drawing board. 24-3 the final score for Trent, for Jamie, for all of us here in Kansas City. I'm Greg Gumbel. Let's send you back to New York.